heard the saying, don't judge a book by its cover. Which I agree, but we still do. But what I say is, don't judge a book by its cover, but you can read the title. But don't misinterpret or misread it. Which means, don't misread me. What is a hoe? Who, me? Not you? Then who? Getting caught by fly swatters or in the web that Charlotte made. Getting tricked and slicked by man. Making excuses saying, it was my mistake. But we're all still judged, so it makes us apart. Anyway, a woman with 4 kids, but have different baby daddies, does that make her a hoe? Or is it that she got abused, raped, threatened for her life, and on her journey of trials of pitch nights, she didn't know which way to go, so she lost hope in herself and just tied the ropes? What about the promiscuous child who was sailing ships to ships with young dudes? Does that make her a hoe? Not knowing that the only person she has left, her mother, is dying. No food, lying on bridges and blocks, shirts with no socks. And all she can do now is sell dope shore to shore because she don't want to have to sell her son. What about the child who raising children? Oh yeah, she's too young, right? But does that make her a hoe? Not knowing that she have seen her grandmother getting beat by a hustler and drugs addicted to her mother, not letting her brains go, but not letting them children see the same for their childhood. But them are not hers. They are her mother's. Now you like, oh. But what about the runaway rag doll? The runaway rag doll who ran away from home because she didn't get enough attention. Lost mother trust because her mother was insecure within herself. Gained love from the streets. Not to mention, no father figure, so she figured to give a figure out to the pigeons. What about the prostitute who stood up for on the corners, who was willing to do things for money? Does that make her a hoe? Not knowing that she's a cottage dropout and she's trying to get back in. So she's willing to clean houses and start over. To start to where she ended. She get harassed because dudes want to bone up. She take food and clothes out her mouth and out her back. Because her siblings need it. And they have no father nor mother, and the government didn't have enough to loan her. So what about the foster child? The foster child who was hopping home to home, who got adopted to a man who was supposed to be a father figure, but instead took her bone, who was fighting for her rights because things wasn't smelling good at night, things were going wrong, who got picked on, and she had to deal with society until she was 18 years old. What about the young hood rat? The young hood rat who had a sex in seconds, who had a sex addiction because her mother sold her to dudes, who got slapped around and drugged up because she refused. The smiles of her mother's eyes blew out her fuse. Sold her for money and material things. The girl who they called the frog grew up into a pretty princess, but she was pretty confused. Looking for love in the filters. Everything that looked gold isn't glitter. So she settled for a man who had insecurities, hopping the streets, behind the Flintstones, thinking about no other. Oh, he coming home, thinking all things tasty, like Fruity Pebbles. Tried to bam her bedrock at night without a rubber. She refused. Then she saw the bigger picture. But her picture went from color to black and white because of his insecurities, and he killed her. See, look, everything isn't what it seems. What you call life isn't always green. What always look good is in peaches and cream. You never know what people went through to get where they are. Society just makes you a label and tries to design you how they want you to be and not for who you really are. So eat your obstacles, eat your pain, eat your joy, eat your laughter. Because you know what? What I just gave you was part of the meal. There's more on the menu for the ones who are hungry, because I feed the hungry. But the main ingredient, shall stay anonymous, to be continued.